Today, we're going to make a new bird feeder that costs about $2, and we're going to make it in different styles so you can pick what will work for your birds. You don't need much. You can have it put together in a matter of minutes, and yes, the parts came from Dollar Tree, though you probably get the parts from other places too. The birds love it. Look at this. You can hang it anywhere you want, and all you need is a paper towel holder, which Dollar Tree has for $1.25 still. Did not go up in price, and it's metal. This thing is going to last you forever. You're going to hang it out there, and look, is that not cool? Talk about good quality. And look at in the back there, what is this? A chip and dip tray with a nice flat bottom. That is very important. And this bottom is going to fit perfect on that paper towel holder. And by hanging it, it can swing in the wind just like the birds love, and you can just sit back and watch it. But of course, you could always sit it on a rail or on a table if you wanted to as well. I wanted to hang mine over the deck where we keep the hummingbirds to keep the seeds from not falling all over the deck. So it's kind of hanging over the side where the chickens can get whatever falls out. But this has been great. I'm going to have a few of them around. I'm making more, and some of them are even going now into my bird garden, not just on the deck where we feed hummingbirds. So we're going to go inside. I'm going to show you how to put this thing together in minutes for so cheap. And if you find a different chip and dip tray, go for it. But remember, I think you're going to want that flat bottom, and the birds are going to be so excited to come feed out of their new bird feeder. So birds aren't finicky as to what they're going to eat out of. They just want the food. So I got this chip and dip tray at Dollar Tree, and yes, it was $1.25, both of these, not $1.50. For some reason, they had them for $1.25. So I got the paper towel holder, which is metal. That thing will last forever. And if it should rust out, you can always hit it with paint. Now the chip and dip tray, that may break down, but it will last for about a year. Now what we're going to do is make a hole on the bottom. This is going to be so fun. I take a hot soldering iron. You can pick them up so cheap, under $15, sometimes incredibly cheap. And we're going to make kind of a strip. We're going to take that strip out. Oh, I would say it's about 2 inches long. You'll see what's going to happen in a minute. And I'm doing it in the middle because we want this thing to be well balanced. Though the food may be pushed around, it won't be so balanced. It will still work because the paper towel holder on the bottom, see the rings there? That's going to be part of your holder. Now we're going to make a few little holes with each section. In other words, if it rains, the water will drip out. So the seed may get wet in there, but the birds don't mind wet seed. The birds just don't want it underwater. And I'll put a couple down here too. You don't need that many because the water will drip out. Plus, it's going to go through on the middle where we made that slit with the soldering iron. Now we're going to push this through. Cool. If you didn't make it big enough, just make it bigger until it fits. Is that not cool? Now, technically we're done, but I'm not because I want to do one more thing. This is where it's really nice to have 3 hands, but we don't. I'm going to make a hole right there on each side of the ring on both sides where we are going to anchor this thing to the chip and dip tray. I'm going to take the sticker off. We don't need it there. Sometimes they do crumble after a time outside, but we're going to take it off because we want to make holes right there too. See? On each side. This will create the anchor for the chip and dip tray as it's swinging, and you'll see how it's going to go up and outside for the birds. Now we're going to put a simple zip tie in there. Now, if you don't have zip ties, you can use bread ties. You could use dental floss. You could use anything you want. You could push a piece of string in there back and forth or yarn and then tie a knot. But I keep zip ties here all the time. So you use whatever you've got. Don't worry about it. It doesn't have to be a zip tie. And now you want to make sure you put it in the right way because if you don't, it won't zip. You know how to do zip ties, I'm sure. If you put it in one way, you slide it in like if I would have left it that way, it won't hold. It won't lock. The little teeth won't grab a hold. And so if you ever slide in something on a zip tie and it doesn't work, that's because maybe you put it in on the wrong side. I'll show you in a minute. Let's get this done, this one. It's kind of awkward, especially for the first one we're trying to get in. But we'll get it. Now, like I said, if I had 3 hands, it'd be perfect. We're going to slide it through, and we're going to pull it taut. So this way, it will hold on and become like a plate on the bottom, holding our pan here for the birds. And now we're going to do another one on this side. Same thing, we're going to slide in. See, oh, let me show you. See the bump there? You want to go behind that. So that little part sticks out and you go behind the flat end. If you turn it, go that way, it won't work. So easy peasy when you're putting it together. And if you slip it in wrong, just take it out and redo it. No big deal. And you can't accidentally do it wrong because it won't tighten. Now we're going to put this one in. And now that we've got the first one on and zipped, it's a little easier to do because it's not slipping all over the place. I think this is going to be better than just letting it flop in the wind, because this way it's going to be held on like one piece. It's going to be a real bird feeder, and the birds are going to love it. You'll see. So cute, so cheap, and we can change it out anytime you want, and we can use other trays too, as long as it's got a flat bottom. Look at that. You know, I'm thinking I like doing things in 3s, because if one fails, then we have another one there. So I'm going to clip these off. And then what I'm going to do is get one more in there. Let me see if my soldering iron is still hot. Isn't that cool? Look how nice it is. Let's see. Because I already unplugged it. Oh yeah, it's still hot. You know what stays hot for a long time? So if you ever had to make holes or do something outside, you can always plug it in the house and run outside when you unplug it. And you can get holes in containers outside when it's not even plugged in, after it's heated up. Okay, now let's see. See, it's unplugged. It's been unplugged when I was finished with the first ones. Now we're going to slip this in. Let's see if I can get this. I'm doing it underneath so it looks neater. It won't be in the bird's way, but you can put it in either side. And now we're going to see. Oh, I'm doing this one-handed. Very good. I love zip ties. The greatest invention ever. Okay, I'm almost got it. One-handed. Okay, I'm going to use both hands. Okay, now we're going to pull it through. And now I've got 3. So if one of them fails, you know, and you could put 4 if you want, and they probably won't, then you won't have to worry about it. There it is. We are actually pretty much done. Now, the slit, some of your small, tiny seeds could fall out of that. There's a lot of things we could do with that. Now, I love painter's tape. You put that on and it stays outside for years. And I'm going to use a piece of painter's tape. But let me tell you something. Right now with the painter's tape, I could go back later on with my glue gun and fill that hole. And it will stay there because it will go through the other end and kind of lock in place. So later on, I might do it. But I wanted to get this thing together. And if I want, I can always put the label back. Remember, we had the label. Either way will work. But yes, I think filling it with a hot glue gun, the glue, would be great. But that's it. Now this exciting bird feeder can go outside, and let's see what the birds think about this cheap feeder that cost me $2.50. So as you can see, this has been a really big hit here, being so cheap. It's worked even in the rain because we put the holes in there, remember, so the water can go out, because birds will eat wet seed. They just won't eat it if it's underwater. I've got this one hanging off the deck, and oh my goodness, all the birds come to it. The house finches, the white crowns, the doves, the joncos, they just keep coming to it. But is this not adorable, and how cheap it is? And it's really nice and big too. So it's very roomy for a lot of different birds. Now this has worked out so well, I've made a couple of them already. Now I did add on with a piece of wire a hook. The hook gives me the freedom to hang it even on an eye ring, because if it's not open, you can't hang it this way. So I just went ahead and I twisted on with a strong piece of wire, and I used a little tiny pair of pliers to go ahead and put that on, so now I can hang it anywhere I want. If I don't need it, I can leave it on the bottom of the tray. Then I put a paper binder, those metal ones, and used it as my third hand to put on some plastic flowers that you could pick up at Dollar Tree as well. Now, why are we putting on flowers? We'll talk about that in a second. Now, here I'm using painter's tape to hold the flowers on, and you can get fancier than me because I was too excited to get it out there. As you can see out the window, the birds keep coming to the feeder, so I needed to set up another one right away. But painter's tape will last in the garden for years, and you know how I all use that. So the clip held it in place as I started to get it on with the painter's tape. Now I can shape it the way I want. I can bend the flowers where they're drooping over but not touching the tray. Now, why are the flowers there? Yes, you may say, plastic flowers. Well, let me tell you something. They're creating a small amount of shade, but the biggest thing they're creating is cover. Cover which the birds really love, knowing that if a predator is flying above, this makes it difficult for them to come dive bomb on them because they would have to maneuver through these flowers there. So it's kind of a double thing. Now, is it going to protect them from the rain? No, but birds don't mind the rain. We all know that. They will feed in the rain, fly in the rain, they'll even bathe in the rain. The rain is not an issue, and we have holes on the bottom of this tray. So the water, any water that collects in there, will just drip out of the bottom, but the seeds will be wet, but they won't be underwater, so the birds can still eat it. So this works perfect no matter what the weather is. Well, maybe the snow, not. But for rain or sun or shine, it will work great. Now just bend the flowers the way you want. You can always trim the flowers. You can remove some of the flowers. It is so versatile to use this, but the big thing is, again, cover, 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 which is protection for the birds by both predators and even the sun. Is that not cute? And it's also looking pretty as well. So no matter how you want to make your bird feeder, it's the easiest thing to make. I hope I gave you some ideas on how to make a simple bird feeder for your birds. Please, if you like it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and maybe subscribe if you haven't. But most of all, share this with your friends that are feeding birds so we can all protect them the best we can, and they can just come in and feast anytime they want. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. And if you can, feed your feathered friends.